everybody, it's Cheyenne and welcome back to my channel. I haven't done one of these videos in a while, and it's a video where I go through my comments and just answer some questions. So I've got my coffee here. I have screenshotted some comments and I just want to go through them, give my opinion on them, and hopefully help you guys in some way. So let's get started. Oh, I got an ice cube in my mouth. I won't spit it back in my cup, that'd be gross. If you're wondering, this is a nitro cold brew from Dutch Brothers. It's so good. Delicious. All right, let's get started. So I will throw a little picture up here on the bottom of the comments so you guys can read it. I'm not gonna say the names because I usually butcher them. But this comment says, what's the best way to be a dental assistant, online program, or go to class every day? I personally think that this is up to you, whatever works with your schedule and what you're able to do. But for me, I think a program is better than an online program because dental assisting is very hands-on, and I'm a hands-on learner, so I need to see the stuff and I need to hear how it works, and I just need to be, I'm a visual learner, so I just think I need to see how it's done. And also I do believe that you need to be in dental offices doing practicum sites and things like that, because for me, that's when things really clicked. When I was just reading it out of a textbook, it wasn't really staying in my mind. I really didn't feel that things were sticking or that I was learning a lot until I was in a practicum site or until I was actually in an office doing those things. So for me, I think a program is better than an online program. At your office, are you able to have your nails painted? No, I'm not, and it is very, very sad. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm a rebel and sometimes I leave my nail polish on, but then I get scared and I take it off like on my lunch. I probably paint my nails every weekend because I love to have my nails painted, but yeah, no, I am not. Most offices don't allow regular nail polish, do allow gel polish, because their concern with regular nail polish is that it will chip off, and it could get into a product or a patient's mouth or whatever. And then also germs can get under your nail polish. And then also they usually want you to have shorter nails because they say that germs can get underneath your longer fingernails, because cleaning under your nails is a little bit more difficult if you have long nails, or things get trapped there easily. So no, they usually don't. I think it's kind of silly because we wear gloves all day, of course, but rules are rules, and most offices do not allow you to have regular nail polish. So I would just talk, with your manager or whoever's in charge there and see if it's okay, or, see if everyone else in the office wears nail polish. Some offices don't care, but some do care. How long would it take to be a dental assistant, and what are the requirements? So, like I've said in the past, every program is different. Some programs are 8 weeks, some programs are for a year. It all really depends. You personally just need to do your own research and pick a program that you can afford, that you have time for, and that has a good reputation in your city. Just because it's shorter or cheaper doesn't mean that it's always the best for you. There are certifications that some programs might offer that others don't. When I got into dental assisting, I wasn't aware of the certifications that are needed to actually be a dental assistant in my state. So I left very like, wait, what? I don't have my EFTA, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, so I'm not, and it was hard for me to figure out on my own how to do that. So make sure you have the knowledge of what you need. You usually have to have a dental assisting certification, and then a radiology license, and then depending on your state, whatever license you need to get your EFTA, because EFTAs are usually preferred in the dental assisting field because they're able to do a little bit more than a regular dental assistant. So make sure you know what your state requirements are and what you actually leave that program with. If you don't leave that program with any certifications and it's just like a training course, to me, I don't feel that's worth it. You could just go, work in an office or offer your time in an office to learn things like that. So just look up how much the program is, what the reputation is, what you actually leave that program with. to determine what kind of program is right for you. But I don't think there's any certain amount of time that teaches you more than others. It just kind of depends on you and your situation and that program. How much do dental assistants make? Looking for a job and don't know what to ask for. Also EFTA, please help. Well, I don't know what state she lives in, so I can't, I live in the state of Oregon, so for me, in my area, roughly, depending on what certifications you have and your experience, assistants can make anywhere from $16 to $30 an hour. It just depends on your experience, what certifications you have, and all that kind of stuff. So what office you're in. Private offices can be different than, like clinic style offices. So it really just depends on your state. I personally always recommend people to go on danby.org, and you can type in your state there and it will tell you roughly what the minimum wage is for a dental assistant in your area. You can also Google it or look through Craigslist or however and see what people are offering hourly for that position, but it does vary per state and then per experience of the dental assistant. So it's kind of hard to give a range. And she said also EFTA, which I'm not really quite sure what she's asking about. I'm not sure if she's asking how to obtain an EFTA or how to get your EFTA license. So like I was saying before, EFTAs usually, well, they usually make more EFTAs usually make more money per hour because they're able to do more. That's an expanded functions dental assistant. And then to get your EFTA, you have to, well, in the state of Oregon, you actually have to take your Oregon Basic as well, but there's a checkoff list to get your EFTA that your dentist has to sign off on, saying that you've done things like child prophies, that I think polishing amalgams is on there still, matrix band placements, temporary crowns, like in-office bleaching, things like that you've done so many times and they sign off on. And then you send that checklist in, and then you also take your EFTA test, which is a state exam. And if you pass that state test, then you have your EFTA. So again, it's different in every state, but I'm gonna say it again, go to danby.org and type in your state and it will tell you exactly how to get certifications within your state. You can also email them, you can call them, ask questions. I did when I was in school and it was really, really helpful. All right. If someone has a temporary crown on, can you take full alginate impressions or will it pull off the temporary crown? It will absolutely pull off a temporary crown. I would not take alginate impressions on someone with a temporary crown. Because depending on why you're taking alginate impressions, usually that's for like a night guard or partials or whatever it may be. You usually want to finish the crown before you do that because the crown can change the bite. It changes the shape of the tooth. So you usually want to wait until all crowns are placed before you make a device like that. But yes, it is going to take the temporary off. And for some reason, if your dentist wants you to take an alginate impression with a temporary and the patient has a temporary on, I would be prepared to be cementing that temporary back on. All right, how do you manage your time wisely? I sometimes get behind on instrument sterilization. I am a solo assistant with approximately 16 patients in an 8-hour day and some add-ons, 1 to 2 docs. I try to get the patients in fast and then I get behind. I have 2 rooms, sometimes 3. I use a 3rd for labs or impressions. Thank you, I enjoy your videos. I too have been doing it for about 6 years. Whew, girl, you sound busy. I'm assuming you're the only assistant. Oh yeah, you are a solo assistant. That's hard. Managing your time wisely, every circumstance is different. It sounds like you're very busy, especially being a solo assistant, doing sterile and cleaning rooms and seeing all these patients. The way I stay on top of patients is I'm very organized. I will start while the patient's sitting there and they're getting numb, I will start my chart note. I'll make sure my chart is semi-completed. I make sure that I don't have a bunch of clutter everywhere, that I have exactly what I need. I kind of clean up as I go, so the dentist finishes with something that I can throw away. I usually toss in the trash can. You know, I do my chart note right after that patient leaves, so I don't have a chart note like lingering over my head that I need to complete later. Just kind of completing things as you go. Also depends on your office. Some offices don't allow you to set up before the patient gets there, but some offices do. I personally like to set up before a patient gets there, and some people disagree. I got a lot of comments in my, you know, day in the life of a dental assistant video, but every office is different, and I personally don't think it's a bad thing to set up before a patient gets there. I want to be ready when that patient arrives, because you have such a short amount of time anyways to get all this stuff done, that I like to set up for the procedure before the patient gets there. I don't want to spend 15 minutes setting up for this procedure right when the patient arrives. I want to grab that patient right when they get there, get them back, and be able to start my work. So depending on what your office is like, and if your office doesn't allow it, that's, you know, that's fine. That's their rules. But if they allow you to pre-set up, I highly recommend pre-setting up. And there's been days where I've been the only assistant and I've had to help many patients, or I've been the only assistant within an office. And I'll look through the schedule, and if I have 3 fillings back to back and I have 3 rooms, I'm gonna set up 3 fillings, and then I will just go from room to room to room and help my patients. And if I have a moment, I'll clean my rooms up real quick. But yeah, I will definitely pre-set up. Also, just staying on top of things like your chart notes and keeping your room organized. Sterilization is tough when you're by yourself, but you know, just, yeah, it sounds like you're very busy. I'm sorry, it sounds like you have a lot to do, but that would be my suggestion. Am I the only one that likes root canals? Yes, Sydney, you are. No, I actually don't mind assisting through a root canal because the dentist does a lot of it, so you're basically just sitting there. But there's so much cleanup and setup, it's like, ugh. And there's just so many things that can go wrong during a root canal, but that's why I don't like root canals. It's just a lot of cleanup, but yeah. You are the only one. I'm just kidding. So she said, I don't understand about sharing workload. Perhaps it's different here in Australia, but do you not get assigned a dentist that you assist with for that day? I get assigned a dentist that I work with. Sometimes it's different every day, but we have to assist any procedures that they have that day. So what I mean by sharing a workload, which again, every office is different, but in most cases, a dentist has more than one assistant. Not all cases, but some cases. And there are other duties within an office besides just assisting the doctor. And through my years of assisting, there are assistants that are very helpful, and they do other things like sterilization or stocking rooms, or, you know, helping with the hygienist, or, you know, doing other things within the office. And there are some assistants that just sit in their operatory and they take their one patient and they do that patient, and then they take their next patient and they do their patient. They're not really involved in the other office. They don't come into your room to help you clean up your room. They don't help with sterile. They don't, you know, grab another patient if their patient doesn't show up. They're just not very helpful. So that's what I mean about sharing workloads, is that you want to be helpful. If your patient went faster than expected and you're done and the other assistant finishes with their procedure, like, go into that room and help them clean up their room. Like, they'll help you clean up your room too. Like, you can have that teamwork, you know, type of feel in your office. You just want to make sure you're being helpful and it's a teamwork environment. That's what I mean. So if you have time to help the other assistant, help them, because then they will help you. Like, if they're busy and they take an impression, you know, while they clean their room, like, go pour up their impression for them, or whatever it may be. If they're setting up their room, they need something, go grab it for them. If you're stocking your room, like, stock their room too. And these are things that help the office run more smoothly and that create that teamwork atmosphere, and then they will help you too when you need it. So that's what I mean by sharing a workload. There are all different kinds of people and personalities and assistants, but for me, I try really hard to treat people the way that I would like to be treated. And I know how frustrating it is when I'm busy and I see an assistant just sitting in a room on her emails, and I'm running around the office trying to clean my room and grab my next patient, and I'm just like, girl, why can't you come help me clean my room? And like, you don't have a patient right now, you know? So things like that. So I try to think of that with other assistants as well. All right. I have really long hair and kind of hate having to wear it up. In your experience, what are the regulations for shorter hair? I don't want to go pixie, but around shoulder length with a hair clip might be nice. So in my experience, dental offices usually don't want anything dangling because you're hanging over a patient all day. So they don't want your hair dangling or jewelry dangling in the patient's face. So whatever length it is, you just want to make sure it's not hanging down. So me personally, I always wear my hair up. Mostly every assistant I work with wears their hair up unless they have very short hair. If you're unable to pull it back, then yes, of course you can wear it down. But I still would probably pull something away. Shoulder length, I mean, is probably okay, but I would just make sure it's not dangling or getting in the way of things. But again, every office has different rules, but mostly every office I've worked in, that's just the rule. Nothing dangling over the patient. Have you ever gotten into conflicts with other dental assistants? If so, tell us about it, please. I have not gotten into like, well, I guess it depends. Do you mean like fights? No, I've never gotten into any fights with other dental assistants. I've had awkward conversations with dental assistants for sure. I've had, trying to think of like an awkward conversation. I mean, I think it's just been really common things. I mean, you work with a bunch of females and someone's having a bad day and they're a little more sassy or snappy, and then you kind of say something back, but then it blows over. I've never really gotten into conflicts, I don't think. Nothing like fights or where we don't like each other. You're definitely going to run into personalities that you mesh with better, or that you mesh with better than others. And I've definitely experienced that. And I think that's just life. That's just common. But yeah, I've definitely never gotten to like fights or like to a level where they're like, I hate Cheyenne, and I'm like, I hate her too, you know? Nothing like that. Just different personalities. But no, I wouldn't say conflicts. I think that I try to be very professional, so I just wouldn't let it get to that level or that place of a conflict like that, but that's just me. That is all the ones I'm seeing right now, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna make some more of these because I do have quite a bit of comments that I haven't answered yet, so I'm gonna go through these and try to answer some more. But yes, please continue to leave me comments, write me on Instagram. I love answering you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.